Today we're going to go over what I call the 4 core arts of being a trade show samurai, and these are skills that will help you collect a lot of leads at the trade show. And I know this is a special meeting for Houseware Show exhibitors, and if there's any questions about the show, I'd be happy to answer it. I've been going to that show for years, and hope that you get a little bit out of this presentation. To start, I want to show you this picture. This is a picture of a guy jumping the high jump. This was the accepted style of high jumping for many, many years, until a guy named Dick Fosbury decided that he was going to try something different because he wasn't very good at this style. He started jumping backwards, and this type of style revolutionized the entire high jumping game. The sport of high jumping made it possible for people to jump much higher and took the level of competition to a whole new heights. And this is kind of how I feel about the trade show samurai techniques. I have quit corporate America, and I do this full time now because I feel like the techniques that we teach here really make a big difference and really change the way people approach the entire trade show program they're exhibiting. People spend a lot of money on booths, they spend a lot of money on pre-show and post-show promotions and tchotchkes and all sorts of things. And this is a way to really make a difference at the show. If you do nothing else, if you do these things, your ability to double or triple or quadruple your experience is definitely within reach for you. And in fact, when I do full-on training programs, I guarantee if you don't have the best show you ever had using these techniques, then I'll give you your money back, because I certainly don't want to have someone pay for services unless they generate some excellent results. So the point of the story is the Fosbury flop revolutionized high jumping in the same way that I believe the trade show samurai techniques can revolutionize how we exhibit at trade shows. I want to give you a few examples of how effective this has been. The first company is a company called CapEx. That was a brand new company. No one ever heard about it. And their first trade show was the NACAC, National Association of College Admissions Counselors. They signed up 1,500 new registered users in one show. The booths surrounding us maybe generated 1 or 2 leads during the same time. Hyperfeed Technologies was a company that I worked for a few years ago. We did a trade show samurai style strategy. We cut the budget by 80%. And we generated 700 leads for the salespeople that year, more than they've ever had before. The years before that, for 20 years, they exhibited at the show. They maybe came back with half a dozen or 10 leads. Mather Lifeways was a company that's been exhibiting for many, many years here in the Chicago area. And a typical show would generate about 3 to 4, maybe 5 leads. This year they generated 150 leads in part-time. The show was only open a few hours a day. And I also consult with a lot of colleges. An average college picks up maybe 10 to 20 leads at a typical college fair night. Trade show samurais pick up 100 or plus in a 3 or 4 hour period at a high school college fair. So the effectiveness of this program is extremely high, and I want to sell you on the point that these are some techniques that you can learn. They're not very complicated, but with a little bit of practice you can be producing very well for your company. One of the important things I want to make sure people understand is the difference between a qualified and a qualifiable lead. A qualified lead is what everyone's looking for. A qualified lead is someone who's in a position to purchase your product. It's great to come back with qualified leads. Most companies that I've had experience with don't have the ability to concretely attach a qualified lead to a trade show effort. But before you can qualify a lead, it has to be qualifiable, meaning it has to have information that can be used to determine the potential value to a sales force. So what a trade show, when I talk about leads, I'm talking about a qualifiable lead, a lead that we can assign a specific rank order to or specific priority to. So when you give it to the sales department, they're going to have the material they need to act. When you come back from a trade show with 1,000 leads, it's pretty overwhelming for your sales department. So we need to have a system for where they can understand the potential value of a lead before they call them and how they can prioritize their time. Usually what comes back from a trade show is a stack of business cards or with some notes scrawled on the back. This is not what we collect. We collect a clean lead, contact information, and information that will help the salespeople generate a sale from this lead. So that's what we're talking about here. So while not every single lead you'll bring back will be the best lead in the world, every single one of those leads you'll be able to tell whether or not it looks like a good one or not. Because as a trade show samurai, part of your discipline is to honor sales. This is a sales effort. I believe wholeheartedly, 100%, that the purpose of a trade show is to generate sales. A lot of people exhibit with the intent of public relations or connecting with current customers, which is a great thing, but all those things should eventually tie into some kind of return. So the four core arts, the four arts that I'm going to talk about today are, the first one is called the art of engagement, the second one is called the art of intrigue, and the third one is called the art of inquiry, and the last one is called the art of disengagement. These are 4 steps in this process. There's a lot more to the Trade Show Samurai process, but this is the 4 core arts. These things happen in rapid succession on a trade show floor when done properly. 3 to 5 minutes you go through all of these arts, and mastering them will help you turn people in and out of your booth and generate the lead. And one of the phenomena that I've noticed throughout my career is traffic creates traffic. When you have a busy booth, it gets busier. When you have a dead booth, it gets deader. So your ability to turn people over quickly will generate traffic, and that in itself will generate traffic. So it's an interesting phenomenon, and I encourage you to keep an eye out for it. And I'm going to use the case study called College Peas. College Peas is actually the parent company for Trade Show Samurai, and it, among other things, helps students apply to college. So that's going to be the example that I'm going to use today, just as sort of a case study as we walk through, so I want to make it concrete. So if I mention college stuff or high school stuff, you'll know why it's this case study.